And on my last video, speaking of the fall guy that they'd like to use as Mr. President Donald Trump, Zero Hedge article, problems too big and too many to fix, which is absolutely true. Trump will be the fall guy. That's what he says. Authored by Mike Shedlock from Mishtalk.com. The axe fell on Steve Bannon Friday, as I discussed with you. He fired him. Last good guy of all. He's gone. Not looking good. The axe fell on him Friday. Midday, mainstream media proclaimed stocks were up because of the firing. Stocks closed the day down. Apparently, stocks were both up and down due to Bannon. Now Bannon is back on the outside, back at Breitbart, and happy to be there. Stephen K. Bannon has always been more comfortable when he was trying to tear down institutions, not work inside them. With his return to Breitbart News, Mr. Bannon will be free to lead the kind of ferocious assault on the political establishment that he relishes, even if sometimes that means turning his wrath on the White House itself. Hours after his ouster from the West Wing, he was named to his former position of executive chairman at the hard-charging right-wing website and led its evening editorial meeting. And Mr. Bannon appeared eager to move on to his next fight. In many ways, I think I can be more effective fighting from the outside for the agenda Mr. President Trump ran on, he said Friday, and anyone who stands in our way, we will go to war with. Among those already in Bannon's sights, Speaker Paul Ryan, Senator Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, the president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Mr. Goldman Sachs himself, Gary D. Cohn, the former president of Goldman Sachs, who now directs the White House's National Economic Council. Thanks, but no thanks. Trump thanked Bannon for his help during the campaign, but not for his tenure in the White House. He tweeted, I want to thank Steve Bannon for his service. He came to the campaign during my run against crooked Hillary Clinton. It was great. Thanks. And Kyle Griffith replies, Trump explicitly thanks Bannon for his time on the campaign, not his 7 months in the White House as chief strategist. New York Times parting shot. The New York Times editorial, Exit Steve Bannon, gave Bannon a swift kick on his way out the door. Mr. Bannon's exit is, of course, a relief. As the well-financed Pied Piper of the alt-right Breitbart crowd, Mr. Bannon at the pinnacle of White House policymaking was a nightmare come to life. But Mr. Bannon, who promptly returned to Breitbart as its executive chairman on Friday, still poses a danger for our broader politics. Outside the White House, he is freer to rally his forces against anyone who doesn't toe his nationalist, protectionist line. A Bannon-led right-wing backlash against Mr. Trump, who unleashed the worst impulses of nationalists in service to himself, would be a fitting comeuppance. More fun to throw mud. Clearly, it's far more fun to throw mud than have it thrown at you. Lost in the Bannon and Trump bashing is one key question. Who is really the bigger threat? Hillary, Trump, or Bannon? Why we are where we are. We are in this mess because of Obamonomics, warmongering, Fed policies, and social handouts created a budget mess but did not solve any of the problems. People revolted and Trump got elected. When it comes to trade and protectionism, Trump is wrong, so is Bannon. Those who think Hillary would have been any better on trade policy are sadly mistaken. If you believe differently, then please take today's quiz, Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, who said it? And they have a link there if you want to click on that. We would have a no-fly zone over Syria had Hillary won. That would have risked a confrontation with Russia. Hillary already wrecked Libya. And of course, Obama and Bush had extremely misguided warmongering policies in the Mideast. Obama was a failure, but no one on either side seems able or willing to fix it. So here we are with everything broken, and we still cannot get anything done. Republicans want more military spending, and Democrats want more social spending. Warmongers on both sides want more war. Art of compromise. Compromise in Washington is more military spending and more social spending. Repetitive compromises sent deficits soaring out of sight. And on top of it all, the Fed blew massive bubbles in just about everything. Problems too big and too many to fix. One thing I expect Trump will get right, at least from a public union standpoint, regards appointments to the Supreme Court. Regards, or maybe he meant regardless, or whatever, regards appointments to the Supreme Court. Overall, I hoped Trump would do better on many fronts. It was not to be. Trump could not drain the swamp. Partisan politics interfered. There was too much infighting, and there is nonsensical Russian bashing on both sides of the aisle. The problems are too big, and too many to fix. If you think Hillary would have fixed them, then you are delusional, according to Mike Mish Shedlock. So, and as he says in his last tweet, to the victor goes the blame. Trump will be the fall guy when this mess blows up, he says. And it's absolutely true. I said this long ago before we even knew who was going to run. It only matters who the president is at that time. If the economy's good and everything's chugging away, they get all the credit. If the economy's bad and markets are crashing or we go to war, whatever it is, they get the blame. When all the time, it's not even them. Again, it's the advisors and it's the Congress, and he's just the front guy waving and, waving it. But he's again, like I used to say, the conductor of the train. He's the conductor. He blows the whistle and, hey, look at me. I'm in here for 4 years. Excuse me, everybody. That train's going down a predetermined track. Those tracks were laid a long time ago before the train even got set on it. And we've had several conductors, known as presidents, ride in the front of that train, claiming to do incredible stuff, yet I see the train going down the same tracks. And by the way, I went ahead and researched where those tracks end. Grand Canyon, off a cliff. Oh, that's conspiracy. Have at it. You guys can sit in the back and wave your flags and cheer. The left won, the right won, whoever won, they're cheering. And you're going to cheer right off that train as it goes over. Oh, well, he let us off the damn... Trump was in charge when the train went over the cliff. He's at fault. He's trying to stop the train. He's trying to drain the swamp. And he realized it's the size of Lake Okeechobee in Florida. Massive lake. And he can't drain it. And he just had to let go of one of his good guys. So we'll see where the Goldman Sachs presidency leads us, because that's who's surrounding him now. It's all of his advisors practically. Take care.